Good day to our dear televiewers and listeners. My name is Eloisa Joy Domingo Cruz from Marciano del Rosario Memorial National High School. I am your teacher presenter in English 7 for this second quarter, weeks 1 and 2. And you can watch it here in DepEd our tele-turuan or in our YouTube channel at Media Bureau Online. The most essential learning competency that we must target in English 7 for the first 2 weeks of this second quarter is to use listening strategies based on purpose, familiarity with the topic, and levels of difficulty of short text listened to. Our objectives for this episode is to familiarize with the different types of listening and to determine the types of listening to use based on the given situation. Before we continue, let me first ask you, how do you listen to your teacher during discussion? Do you listen attentively? Do you take down notes? Or you chat or eat while you listen? Well, you better assess yourself in doing so. When we engage in listening, we are doing so for many different reasons, depending upon the goals in which we are trying to achieve. There are 4 different types of listening that are essential to know when deciding what your goal is as the listener. The 4 types of listening are appreciative, emphatic, comprehensive, and critical. Familiarize yourself with these different types of listening so you can strengthen and improve your ability to critically think and evaluate what you have heard. The first type of listening is appreciative listening. When you listen for appreciation, you are listening for enjoyment. Think about the music you listen to. You usually listen to music because you enjoy it. The same can be said for appreciative listening when someone is speaking. Some common types of appreciative listening can be found on sermons from places of worship, from a motivational speech by people we respect or hold in high regard, or even from a stand-up comedian who makes us laugh. Emphatic listening. When you listen empathetically, you are doing so to show mutual concern. During this type of listening, you are trying to identify with the speaker by understanding the situation in which he or she is discussing. You are stepping into the other's shoes to get a better understanding of what it is he or she is talking about. Usually, during this type of listening, you want to be fully present in the moment or mindfully listening to what the speaker is saying. Your goal during this time is to focus on the speaker, not on yourself. You are trying to understand from the speaker's perspective. The third type of listening is comprehensive or active listening. If you are watching the news, listening to a lecture, or getting directions from someone, you are listening to understand or listening to comprehend the message that is being sent. This process is active. In class, you should be focused, possibly taking notes of the speaker's main ideas, identifying the structure of the speech, and evaluating the supports he or she offers as evidence. This is one of the more difficult types of listening because it requires you to not only concentrate but to actively participate in the process. The more you practice listening to comprehend, the stronger listener you become. The fourth type of listening is critical or analytical listening. Have you ever had to buy an expensive item such as a new appliance, a car, a cell phone, or an iPad? You probably did some research beforehand and listened closely to the salesperson when you want to compare brands. Or perhaps your best friend is telling you about some medical tests he or she recently had done. You listen closely so you can help your friend understand her results and the possible ramifications of the findings. Both these scenarios are examples of critical listening. It uses critical thinking skills. As a listener, you are listening to all parts of the message, analyzing it and evaluating what you heard. When engaging in critical listening, you also critically thinking. You are making mental judgments based on what you see, hear, and read. Your goal as a critical listener is to evaluate the message that is being sent and decide for yourself if the information is valid. There you have it. So please stay tuned for the next part of our discussion when we are right back after a few reminders from our station. And now we're back to tele-turuan. A while ago, I have discussed with you the 4 types of listening. Can you tell me those 4? Very good! The 4 types of listening that I've discussed a while ago are the appreciative listening, empathic listening, comprehensive or active listening, and critical or analytical listening. Now, let me give you these examples for each type of listening. For the appreciative listening, the examples are: first, you get relaxed every time you listen to your favorite song, All of Me by John Legend. Second, Sheena feels motivated when she listens to the speech of late Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago. And the third example, John is always listening to Moira's playlist because he loves her voice. Now for empathic listening, the examples are: your best friend told you how problematic she was because of her family situation. You listened and tapped her shoulder to console her. Second, Leanne tried to explain her side but admitted her fault and sincerely apologized to Susie by giving a hug and saying sorry. Susie also felt guilty for she also had fault. She then apologized to Leanne. In this example, both Leanne and Susie understood each other's side and they felt each other's sincere apology by giving a hug and listening to each other. Next in the list are examples for comprehensive or active listening. First, during online class, Matthew takes notes from his teacher's discussion. He also asks questions to clarify something about the lesson. And for the second example of comprehensive listening, Leo got the highest score in their online activity because he was able to follow the given directions. Third, Shane can easily share ideas about the English subject because she actively listens to her teacher during class. And now here are the examples for critical or analytical listening. First, Frances used to view and listen to some online reviews before buying a product. Number 2, during campaign period, Darwin used to attend on electoral candidates meeting the Avance and listen to their platforms to help him decide for his vote. That's it! Can you think of your own examples for each type of listening? You better write them on your notebook. Now let me check your understanding about our lesson by simply answering this short activity. For the direction, you just have to identify what type of listening is applicable or shown in each given situation. Number 1. When Robbie was involved in a serious automobile accident, Jess visited him in the hospital. What would be the type or best type of listening for Jess to use when listening to Robbie explain the details of the accident? Very good! The empathic listening is the answer. Number 2. Elira just loves listening to the song Shut Up and Dance on the radio. When the music comes on, she smiles, can sing along with every word, and sometimes breaks into dance. What is Elira's listening type? Correct! That is appreciative listening. Number 3. As a marketing head, Faith shares her expertise in her field during the conduct of orientation for GSC's new employees. Blessy, as one of the employees, took out a pen and a notebook and started to take down notes. What type of listening is shown by Blessy? That's right! That is comprehensive or active listening. Number 4. Mario loves watching and listening to Pastor Bong Saking's sermons for he gets inspired and motivated by his delivery of God's message. What type of listening is employed by Mario? That's fabulous! You got it right! The answer is appreciative listening. And for the last item, number 5, Raquel saw the most trending rechargeable chic tumbler was on sale at Lazada Mall. She then added it to her cart, but decided not to check out for a while, for she had a second thought that it may not be durable. Eventually, her friend FJ has it, and he showed it to her. She then asked FJ a lot of questions about its features and quality. She gets satisfied based on what she heard. So she opened her Lazada apps again and checked out the item. What type of listening is shown in this situation? Absolutely. The answer is critical or analytical listening. Were you able to get a perfect score? Well, I'm happy for you. I believe you've learned a lot from our discussion. Remember, there can be no learning if you do not listen. See you again next week for the next episode of tele-turuan. Happy learning, everyone! Goodbye!